Yeah, it's because of the hot weather. Hello, guys. How are you doing? I think you realize I'm not starting the video as usual, right? Because I'm not used to started speaking in English. But today is gonna be different. Today, this video is gonna be full time in English, and it's not gonna be about grammar or whatever else. It's gonna be about my journey. I want to last 8 years, and then you think, oh my god, it's not gonna fit in just one video. And I know it. That's why I'm gonna make it short, or shorter than it should be. Alright, so let's start by the very beginning, correct? I'll always keep looking at my sheet here because I don't remember everything, and I don't have the teleprompter. So it is started perhaps 20 years ago. Yes, 20 years ago. Nowadays, I'm 29. And 20 years ago, oh my god, yeah, that's it. Oh, I'm getting really old. Anyway, 20 years ago, my parents, they offered me an opportunity of putting me in a English school. I was, I think, 9. Yeah, if my math is not wrong, I was 9. And yes, let's go. I was like that. I answered and I behaved like a happy child who was about to start a new thing. But point it is, it couldn't have gone more wrong. Because thinking about a kid that starts excited, but in the very end doesn't like it, and this kid really becomes a pain in the ass of his parents, a real pain in the ass. And as a parent, they felt like as their duty, they needed to keep trying, keep investing time and money on me. So, if I'm not wrong, I've been to 2 different schools, and I spent 3 years, yeah, 2 years in one school and one more in another. 2 years, the first school, they thought, oh, okay, maybe this isn't the right school for him. Maybe, what if we change it? Because right here, obviously, it wasn't working. But after 1 year, another in the other school, they put me there because one of my best friends was taking class right there. So they thought, oh my god, if his best friend is having classes over there, maybe it will work it out for him. Again, they couldn't be more wrong. They tried. They really tried. I mean, they bought the books. They took me there many times for 3 years, and I remember clearly as water that they. Oh my god, how many fights I had with my mom, because she was the one who was taking me to the courses. And it was every time the same thing. She started, "You're not ready yet. We should be going. We should be leaving." And she was getting okay. She was starting getting really stressed. She was getting really mad, angry, and other synonyms you wanna think about it. Um, it was a complicated time, to say the least. I can remember clearly, absolutely, as it was right now or yesterday. My daddy, he asked me in a trip or in a day that we went out, he asked me if I could translate a few things for him. Definitely I couldn't. For example, the word napkin, and I definitely didn't say napkin. I definitely did not. I remember his reaction of sort of disappointment and frustration, which resulted on angry, and he ordered me to just take a walk because he needed to talk to my mom probably. And I know that after that, I think after that, they took me out of the first school, and then they tried one more time again, and every single. No, no, it wasn't. Well, I think that time I was better. I behaved better because my best friend was in there, as they presumed at first. But after that, what happened? They realized I wasn't learning anything. I wasn't. And in the end of the year, if I'm not wrong, my friend left. Oh my God, that's right. That was right. And then I can't remember now, was my parents, they took me out of that second school, and my mom said in a very good tone, like, you're not gonna be in any other school, and if in the future you really wanted to come back to school, you have to beg me. And every day was like a frustration day of English, because I knew I was about to go in somewhere that I didn't want to do something, didn't want to as well. But kids, right? Kids never want to do anything they need to. So everybody, I didn't finish it frustrated. I was happy in the very end. I remember thinking like that. I remember thinking that I wouldn't ever ask them for coming back to an English school, that they wouldn't need to be worried about it. That's what I know. The next few years, yeah, not the next few months, but the next few years, I remember not being disappointed with the consequences of my decision. I just remember being happy. But yeah, there were consequences after all. I don't know exactly how to describe the feeling, but I do remember feeling frustrated by not knowing English. You know what I mean? Because by that time, my friends were watching movies full time in English. I used to have classes in English at school, books in English. I remember traveling with my parents. I remember watching other, not only watching because this is about television and things like that, but I remember seeing other people, listen to other people talking in English. They had an amazing experiences, and because of that, I certainly was feeling frustrated. I was feeling out of the line, out of the group, because I couldn't participate, and it was really bad. So I started not telling my parents that I wanted to come back to the English classes, because I didn't want to come back, but I thought I could do that by myself. So I started with songs, because everybody used to say, and everybody will keep saying that songs are the best for learning anything in English, which I disagree. Songs are not the best way for learning English, and one day I'll talk about it, but not now. And I remember one of my favorite bands at the time was Rolling Stones, and I searched for the song what was Satisfaction, and I translated everything. In a very start, in a very way to start, it was good because everything was new. I didn't know anything, so whatever it says, it was right. But then I didn't stop in there. I continued doing it, and eventually, I I find myself stuck in a song because I couldn't understand why in a certain context a word was just mean a word meant something in another context it meant another, and that was the part when I realized that maybe I wouldn't be able to do it by myself. And then I searched for other sources. Internet is internet, even back to 10 years ago now. So I read a lot of tests, I read a lot of things. I was starting to listen up many other things. I talked to my friends, I asked for help from my friends. But eventually, I knew that I would need some help. I wasn't the self-learning kind of person, so there wasn't much more I could do. I went to my parents and I told them, okay, you are right. I'm gonna need English, and I cannot do it by myself alone. And then they at this time they were seeing how much effort I was putting on trying to learn by myself. They were seeing this, so they were a little skeptical about my my learning or not, but my intentions, right? The truthness about my will of learning it. But they gave me a vote. And so I started looking for schools, and I found this one, which I will forever be thankful for them, for the way of teaching, and but especially for my first teacher over there. She was not my first teacher ever, but she was my first teacher in there. And my first teacher that really and for real woke up the very the my internal desire for learning. I don't know what she did. I just know that I didn't go there thinking like, oh my god, you are gonna learn English. No, I was there. I know that I have to do it. Just go for it. And step by step, I start learning every time more and more. I know that every single week I went to a school not only for English classes but for chat classes, which I only talked, and the teachers at the time they needed to be very patient with me. I said many things wrong, believe me. And I used to rent books all the time. Every week I was with a different book, and I guess that was why I learned it. That was why I learned it. Because in a matter of 2 years, I felt myself confident enough to talk to anyone. 2 years, I think. Now, 3 years, I was sure that I could talk to. Doesn't matter who was the person. Doesn't matter where the one was coming from. The region. And in about 4 years, I felt secure. I felt confident enough to teach English. Honestly, there are many other details that I would like to talk here, but this video is 20 minutes longer, and I'm probably gonna make some cuts here. So that's it, folks. That's my story. Sorry, that's my history, and I really hope that help you guys somehow around here. See you in the next.